Okay, so picking up where I left off, I am going to start rotating this to sort of get it to align with the body of this lion. I'm using gumball just because I find it a lot easier to move objects. And I'm going to go to this screen so I can kind of see where this is sitting, and this is very clearly not sitting anywhere close to where I want it. It's sitting way down low. And this is clearly going to have to angle a little bit back. So I'm going to start doing this. I do want this object to actually end up overlapping with the body of the lion. If it does not overlap at all, it will not join. So I'm going to bring the perspective view up. I'm going to look here, and then I'm going to start shifting over. Okay, and we're starting to merge in. Right, so there I have a wing nearly all the way embedded into this. I should have probably trimmed a little bit more of this and brought a little more with it, but for today's purposes we'll make it work. So I could go back and cut out the other wing off of the bird, although I've already trimmed it off in a way that's not going to work very well. So what I'm actually going to do is mirror this on the other side. I'm going to take a look at this, and that actually did quite good. I am going to have to move this in just a little bit. And I'm going to try to rotate this down just a little bit to change the angle of it slightly. And I'm going to move it down just a bit. And move it in here. Alright, so now my lion has wings. They are tiny little Cupid wings, but not very functional, but for the sake of looks, it works just fine. So at this point I would probably save my project, and then I am just going to add this to my object. I am going to kind of use this as a crown. So, or my thought was to either use this as a crown or use it as a sort of replacement mane. It kind of creates a funky little straw hat-like thing. So, and if I wanted to, at this point, then I could just Boolean union those together. Don't try to join, use Boolean union. For the sake of it, I'm going to rotate this and give him sort of a flower mane, just to try it another way. Obviously, that is way too small, so I'm going to scale this. Not to the size of half of my screen. I'm going to go over to another viewport. If it wants to do strange things for you, switch to another viewport, and that usually helps resolve them. I'm going to move that. I clearly need to rotate this a little bit. And I'm going to just kind of fuss with this until I'm happy with it. I'm going to move it forward so it takes precedence over the rest of the mane. Although I may not like that because it brings that circle forward, so I guess I'm going to move it back again. And with this particular project, it's more about how you put the parts together in an interesting way. Make sure your object is fully closed at the end. And I'm going to show you what happens with this. I am going to try to Boolean union. I am not going to try to Boolean all of the pieces at once. I will freeze my computer if I do that. So take your time and add what you need, but don't be crashing your computer. So now, if I zoom in on this perspective mode, I'm going to change my view to be rendered, and I now have a lion with cupid wings and a sort of flower surround on its head. So the key is more in making sure you divide things at points that make sense. Make sure your objects overlap and are all closed. If they aren't fully closed, you can still join things together, but you have to trim the other object in order to actually get that to work properly. And actually, to show you how that would work, I'm going to do that really quick. I'm just going to use this other sort of wing. I'm going to put it in a place that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but this is just for demonstration, provided I don't actually completely lose this in the other object. Okay, so you can see that it's sort of in between in the other object. It's not quite all the way there. So I'm going to fuss with this until it actually fully meets the other object. So what I could do now is I can select this larger object I'm going to merge it with, and I can split it by this object. Or at least in theory, you should be able to split it by this object. Okay, that one trimmed. So now let's try this one again. Okay, for some reason, this particular object does not like to be trimmed by the other one, but in theory, that should actually trim. And then you should just be able to join the two pieces together. This is why doing Booleaning rather than joining is a lot easier.